Turning to our top story this hour, the British Prime Minister's former aide, Dominic Cummings, has released controversial screenshots of his messages with his former boss. In the messages, Prime Minister Boris Johnson appears to describe UK Health Secretary Matt Hancock as totally hopeless. In a new onslaught on his former boss, Cummings published a slew of texts and documents from emergency COBRA meetings, which would uncover lies from both Downing Street and the Health Secretary about the initial handling of the pandemic. In one of the screenshots shared, it appears that PM Johnson called the Health Secretary totally hopeless because Hancock was unsure he would be able to reach a target of 10,000 tests per week. In another such message, Johnson seems to blame the Health Secretary for Britain's difficulty in procuring ventilators. Johnson's spokesman declined to comment on the messages, but said that the Prime Minister had full confidence in the under-fire Health Secretary. When asked whether he was hopeless, Hancock replied that he didn't think so. Cummings' tweets follows his explosive allegations against Hancock in his testimony before the Parliamentary Select Committee hearings last month. Cummings had alleged that Hancock lied to colleagues and had said that Prime Minister Johnson was unfit for the job. Britain has been one of the countries worst hit by the pandemic, recording nearly 128,000 deaths, the highest toll in Europe. A successful vaccination drive has since helped reduce deaths sharply, but the emergence of the Delta variant has prompted fears of a third wave. The Prime Minister this week delayed lifting virus restrictions by a month to July 19th. For more on this, our London Bureau Chief Mandy Clark is joining us live on the broadcast. Mandy, the British Prime Minister's former aide, Dominic Cummings, seems to have now become his biggest foe. One attack after another. What's going on in London?
It certainly is a nightmare for Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Dominic Cummings, even when he hired him, had a pretty checkered reputation that he was a firecracker, and he's certainly showing that to be the case. He has a arsenal of information that he's kept about Boris Johnson, and he plans to release it slowly to prove to the British public. So he says that there was severe mishandling over the COVID crisis, that Boris Johnson did not trust the man responsible, Matt Hancock, at the time, and this is his proof. In many ways, it seems he's just trying to sabotage his old boss, and by trickling out these allegations every few weeks or so. Of course, there was when he was in front of the Select Committee, he put loads more accusations down the line. They thought it was over, and of course now he's coming out with his blog. We can expect likely more. Dominic Cummings seems a man ready to take down his old boss. The exchanges were full of expletives as well that can't be reported on, but it certainly does not put Matt Hancock in a good light. And what's interesting is Boris Johnson has not denied the accuracy of the WhatsApps, just that they won't be commenting on it, and that he still supports Matt Hancock. But it does give a window into the chaos at the time, at the height of the pandemic.
And this new revelation again brings to the fore the issue of the handling of the pandemic by Boris Johnson's government. How does it reflect on the UK government?
It reflects terribly. The last thing you want is your personal conversations where you feel that you can be frank and free with your advisor to be put out all over the British public and the world to see. It makes it seem like they were out of control. So it's certainly not a good look, especially after that enormous stumble at the starting. Britain did have, as you pointed out, that very successful vaccination program. That is obviously what they want to focus on, the fact that they managed to roll it out so successfully and so quickly. But of course, with Dominic Cummings constantly reminding the public how badly they handled the crisis at the start, it seems the legacy might just be the bad handling of those ventilators and getting the PPE rather than the successful rollout.
Thank you, Mandy Clark, as ever, for your insights.